How's it going? Welcome to the Trades and Grades podcast. I'm your host, No Right. Alongside me is not Camden Gongler, and it is not Caleb Nemi. It is Mick Wright, my brother.
Yep.
We got no Caleb tonight. He's on vacation, I believe. Camden has had some personal affairs that maybe he can speak to later. Nothing bad. Nothing bad. He's actually trying to get – well, you know what? I'll just let him talk about that next week if he wants.
Okay.
But but he just can't be here tonight. So at any rate, we do have Mick coming on. He's our saving grace tonight, so we didn't have to hear me rambling on for 30 to 45 minutes about tight ends by myself. I know Camden loves himself a good tight end, but yeah, we'll just have to make do with what we have. So Mick, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit, I suppose, who you are. That's about it.
If you don't already know me, Noah's brother. This is my second year doing fantasy football, so I'm a little new to it, but I do enjoy some fantasy football, and that's what we're gonna be talking. So, yeah,
This is true.
That's all I got, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, Mick's going into his senior year of high school, so he's a little bit. He got started a little younger in the Dynasty football than I did, so kind of jealous. But if you want to hit him up with the follow on Twitter, it is MC_right2. But he's more famously known for his TikToking. If you want to go follow, what is it? It's prospect_scouter.
Oh yeah.
Is that right? Okay,
Oh,
yeah. For all, honestly, some pretty good videos if you're interested in college scouting or Devy plays. I know he's posted a video of Quentin Johnston, I believe. So
actually, I actually ended up deleting it.
You deleted the Quentin? Why?
It just wasn't popping off, so kind of had to kill it while it was dying, type of deal.
Well, whatever. I like when Johnson just picks him up in one of my Devy drafts, startup Devy drafts. So
yeah, I
shout
like
out.
him. It's just the TikTok was just not doing its thing. So just
whatever.
Maybe I'll do a repost. Maybe I need to use a different sound.
Maybe. But yeah, shout out Dad Bod Brett for the new Devy startup that I just completed. So that was a lot of fun. But we're here to talk about some tight end buys. We'll see what is today, June 22nd. June's flying. The season's gonna be here before you know it. But you want to get these tight ends before the season starts. Get an edge on your league mates who we think are undervalued right now, or perhaps maybe they're not even being underdrafted according to their ADP. We just think we're going to have a better finish than what they have in the past. Maybe they just have some untapped upside. So without further ado, Mick, why don't you go ahead and give us your first tight end buy for the 2022 season?
First tight end buy. We're gonna start off here, pretty easy, pretty basic. We're gonna go Zach Ertz here. Zach Ertz, I feel like big tight end buy. He's what is he? He's only 31. I thought he was like 33, 34. Finished, what was it, fifth? Finished fifth last year.
Finished tight end 5.
Yep.
It shocked me, to be honest.
Wait. DeAndre Hopkins is not gonna be there the first half of the season. That's boom. It's going up right there. It's going up. Zach Ertz, he's gonna pop off. You saw him. I already checked how much he was on the field at the beginning of the year. It was like high 50s. Still got up to 60s, 70s, 80s, and then it got to the 90s, low 90s, mid 90s at the end of the year, and that's when he started popping off, getting those tutties. And that's gonna be my first buy. Zach Ertz. You want me to do the second one too?
No, we'll go ahead and talk about each one, and then
All right.
I'll talk about we'll like go back and forth. So
okay.
But yeah, no, Zach Ertz is an interesting one. Like you mentioned, he's 31, so he's up there in age. So he's not like full grandpa yet. He's like he just got a senior citizen discount. So he goes to Culver, so he gets like he gets a discount. He's not like headed to the home quite yet. But yeah, I think he does beg to be looked at based on where he's going right now. So if we're looking on Fantasy Pros, he's going as tight end 18 in Dynasty behind guys like Irv Smith Jr. And I do love David Njoku, but I feel like it's kind of disrespectful because, like we said, he went as tight end 5 last year on the board, which honestly that kind of shocked me. He's put up great numbers in previous seasons. The before 2020, he didn't play the full season in Philadelphia, but the 4 prior seasons, we'll start in 2016. He went off as tight end 6, 3, 2, and 4. So I mean, he was up there with the Travis Kelce's of the world. So he's definitely not a scrub by any means, but I mean, he is getting older. He got traded in the middle of the season. I feel like you mentioned once he got traded, he really started to see a high significance of an increase of snap share. He was when he was at Philadelphia, he was fighting with Dallas Goedert. Like you said, he's gotten 50s, 40s, even 60% maybe the time he's on the field. But the last 8 games of the season, he was looking at 80% or more, which I think we'll see probably similar to like you mentioned. You're going to have no DeAndre Hopkins for I think it's 6 games. That's what his suspension was. So for at least the first 6 games, you do have Trey McBride there, so we do have to mention that.
Yeah,
That might take away some, but I do think that based on his current ADP and where people are valuing him, I'm going to go on keep trade cut. Yeah, tight end 18 there as well. So I mean, they have Trey McBride. Obviously, this is dynasty, but like if you're talking about this, this is a very good contender buy. That's for sure.
yeah,
After this year, I don't really know what his outlook's going to look like, but I mean, he put up tight end 5 numbers last year with DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins had some injury issues, but yeah, I don't know. Obviously, you have to think about Hollywood Brown's going to be there as well. But I do think that based on his current projections, based off what the consensus of like the people saying a keep trade cut supposed to be from the people, I agree. I think that'd be a pretty solid buy.
yeah. I'm not too nervous about the
About
tight
what
end they just
McBride?
drafted. I
Yeah,
blanked
Trey
on his name.
McBride.
Trey McBride. I'm not nervous about him. At least first year, I'm not nervous. Second year, he might get some production. Third year, I think McBride's kind of gonna start taking away his production, which is he might get traded or he just might be thrown in the dumps. But I'm not nervous about McBride, McBriddle. I don't care what you call him,
So
but Zach Ertz all the
McGriddle.
way, baby.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, so we'll just go ahead and transition because I mean we both agree on that. There's really not much more to say, so we'll go ahead and go on to mine. My first one, honestly, that was going to be one of mine. Zach Ertz is going to be mine, so kind of had to like think about some other ones. Which this one was going to be one originally, but then I looked at the ADP for like fantasy pros, and he's going as tight end 12 right now, which is like kind of annoying, but like it also I was like, okay, good, because like he should be going there. But my tight end buy is Cole Kmet, the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Kmet was really a first round talent when he got drafted 2 years ago. He ended up getting second round draft capital. I remember at the time, I was like, they had so many tight ends, especially with Jimmy Graham there for the last 2 years. It's like, why are we going with the tight end there? As a Bears fan, I was kind of annoyed, but he is. I mean, he's a stud. He can. I think he can be something. I think he can be a top 12 tight end. Obviously, so does the rest of the fantasy community if they're pushing up to tight end 12, which I think is probably right where he should be. But I just feel like looking back at last year, he kind of got shafted with the amount of red zone touches that he didn't get because of Jimmy Graham and the fact the offense also kind of sucked. But if you're just going based off of like receiving yards alone, he did rank 12th in receiving yards out of all tight ends, which is literally one spot behind like Darren Waller. He went higher than Dawson Knox and T.J. Hawkinson, Pat Fryermuth, a bunch of those guys. So like he had the receiving yards, he had the receptions. He just had literally no touchdowns at all. I think he finished as like tight end 20. Let's see. Yeah, tight end 21 behind like CJ Uzoma. Like I don't think that's going to be the same this year. I just think he kind of got shafted with some of those red zone touches. So this year, if they use him correctly, I really think that getting him in, those red zone packages with, I don't really know who else is going to be there, because Allen Robinson, you could have made the argument, would also been taking those away quite often his rookie year, but last year Allen Robinson really wasn't playing a whole lot. So I'm kind of sad of where he's at right now, because I can't really deem this as a super great buy, because I feel like he's properly rated, but I do like Cole Kmet and his opportunities this year and moving forward.
Yeah, he's a youngster. What was he? Was he last year? Was he a rookie last year, or
No,
was that 2 years ago?
Sophomore year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. He's young dude. Their wide receiver core is at the bottom of the league, very bottom of the league. Darnell Mooney. He's gonna be a great guy. He's gonna have to carry, but it's just gonna be him, Cole Kmet, the rookie, he's a rookie. He's 25, dude. There's no way like that.
Oh, you're talking about Bayless Jones?
Draft
Oh
him?
my gosh.
He's 25.
Don't even. Bayless Jones. Yeah. So let's just think about who we have. Let's look at the projection. So we have Darnell Mooney. Your wide receiver 2 is Byron Pringle, and then Bayless Jones. I never have said this guy's name. Equanimous St. Brown. I think I said that right.
Equanimous, something like that.
I'm sorry. I apologize to Mr. St. Brown for mispronouncing that. I literally don't know. And then Daz Newsome. So, I mean, it's at least tied with the worst. It's pretty terrible. So, he has all the opportunity in the world to become a tight end 1. That's really up to him, and I guess the offense and how they're going to use him if he's going to become that. I don't know. Hopefully,
there's going to be. They said that there's going to be. They're going to work with a lot of Justin Fields' strengths. They're going to try to build around him, do like a lot of running throws, running plays. So I feel like some rollouts to the tight end will be popular among the offense. So that's something to look forward to.
That's weird. Using the strengths of your quarterback in the offense. I don't think the Bears' previous head coaches have ever heard of that idea.
No, I was listening. I don't remember who it was, but he was like, Matt Nagy was trying to do the opposite. He was just trying to do everything, keep Fields in the pocket. And not have him run whatsoever.
Yeah, well, that's beyond us. And so is Cole Kmet for our second tight end buy. Why don't you go ahead and give us another tight end buy?
Another tight end buy. Let's go Dallas Goedert of the Philadelphia Eagles. 27 years old, finished tight end 11. I don't know exactly what he's getting drafted at right now, but I know that he is more than likely going to succeed at with the offense. Eagles offense, pretty good. The defense, not as good, but it's all about the offense. That's what we're talking about right now. Yes, they did bring in A.J. Brown. He's going to be pretty good. They got Devontae Smith. But Jalen Hurts, he's going to, you could say that he broke out last year. Quarterback-wise or like fantasy-wise, yes, he did. But as a quarterback, I don't think he officially broke out yet, but I feel like he's gonna actually break out, be like a Kyler Murray type of breakout season possibly, and with this offense with AJ Brown, I don't know about coaching, all that stuff that's going on. 'Cause Eagles coaching, not the greatest history, but we'll see. I don't know. Dallas Goedert's a buy. I feel like he can be top 10. Yeah, easily top 10 if the offense is good. They love the tight ends.
Okay, so let's go back. Right now in Keep Trade Cut, he's going as tight end 9 in Dynasty, which one ahead of Dawson Knox, which just is repulsive to me. That Dawson Knox is literally just behind him. I don't know. Dawson Knox is also ahead of Cole Kmet.
I'm not a Knox guy.
No. And then he's behind Pat Freiermuth as well. which I love Pat Fryermuth, but I think he's set up for one of the biggest regressions, especially touchdown wise this year. Negative
Oh
regression.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was looking for the Eagles last year ranked in like offense. I mean, they're pretty middle of the pack in terms of total yards per game, but they're really heavy set on the rush. So it'll be they were number one in rushing last year. So I'll be interested
Yeah.
to see how they're going to utilize their new weapon in AJ Brown. I mean, obviously it's going to help the offense a lot. It's going to help Jalen Hurts a lot. So maybe Goddard benefits from better offense in general. I think this seems kind of backwards, but I think this honestly might help Devontae Smith some because now he doesn't have the number one cornerback on him at all times. When the other guy crossed from the lines, Jalen Rager, and you have no one else to throw to. So I feel like it's going to help Hurts a lot. Even though it seems like it should hurt Devontae Smith, I feel like he's going to have a lot better chance of getting open, which, I mean, you could say the same thing about Dallas Goedert. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Goddard's appropriately rated for me. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I feel like he's a really athletic tight end, but I feel like he's pretty appropriately rated at tight end. He's tight end 7 on Fantasy Pros. He's tight end 9. I do think he's better than Pat Fryermuth. I'd be shocked if he didn't have a better year than Pat Fryermuth. But the rest of the guys I see, like Pitts, Andrews, Kelsey, Kittle, Hawkinson, Waller, Schultz. I really don't see him having a better year than any. I could see him beating T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah,
probably.
that's the thing. Like, yeah,
T.J. Hawkinson, I think he'd be so he could finish like tight end 6 or maybe tight end 5. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of indifferent on that one. But
I feel like you always try to put in Devontae Smith. I feel like you're always trying to. You're insanely high on Devontae Smith. Whatever you
no,
do,
I just think I don't know. I mean, tell me how
I
it's
don't
not
really like him. I'm being honest.
the Slim Reaper. You don't like the Slim Reaper,
Nope,
bro?
nuts.
I don't know.
Wide receiver 2 on a team that runs all the time with a quarterback who loves to run. I don't know.
Well, when you put it that way, it makes it a lot less. That makes me a little sad.
Well, I'm just look at the Cardinals. Look at the Cardinals.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't feel like they've had a caliber of a wide receiver 2 there like the Eagles do. Like if Devontae Smith's your wide receiver 2, like that's better than I don't know how many teams wide receiver 1s, but that's you know what I mean. Like it's I don't know. We'll see. I think that he should benefit, but he'll get better opportunities. These might be more limited. I guess if that makes sense. Instead of just getting the ball a ton, and then like the opportunities are harder to get because it's harder to separate because you have better quarterbacks. Now he's going to have lesser cornerbacks, but you're just fighting for the ball more. So we'll see which prevails. But at any rate, I'll move on to my next tight end buy. Right now, he's going at tight end 13 on Fantasy Pro, so right
13.
behind Cole Kmet. Again, this one's not a super flashy one. I felt like it was this guy's kind of appropriately rated, but I feel like honestly on Twitter the hate's way more. Like, okay, I'll give you for instance after I explain this, but the tight end 13 on Fantasy Pros right now I think is a good buy is Noah Fant. Now he's in a pretty sucky situation at quarterback, but he's literally had the exact same quarterback for the last 2 years. I mean, more or less, they kind of went in between with a variety of quarterbacks, but he's had Drew Lock for a good chunk of that, and he's still done like pretty solid for what he's been able to accomplish. I mean, his second year in the league, he finished as tight end 8. Last year, he finished as tight end 12. But he's not like he's got 670 yards, 673 yards the last 2 seasons. He's only had a handful of touchdowns and a good amount of 90 targets, 93 targets. I don't think that Locke or Geno Smith's their long-term answer in Seattle at all. I could see them getting Baker or Jimmy G, and that would be huge. Obviously, now you have to fight with DK and Lockett, but my argument right now for no fan is a Twitter thread that I did a month or two ago, and it was based off of tight ends. Is right, I think it's right after the draft. Tight ends, and how your draft capital affects like your odds of basically being good. And so if you're a first round draft pick and you're tight end, you have like a 80 something percent chance of being a tight end one at least one time in your career. Being a top 5 tight end in your career, you have like a 52% chance, and it drops off like drastically. It's like a 30% drop off if you are not drafted in round 1. And he's his highest is tight end 8. So playing the odds, he still has a 50-50 chance of being a top 5 tight end at some point. Not saying it's going to be this year, but he is 24, and he's right now, he's had a tight end 1 year 2 times in a row. He's not in a great situation, but I feel like the hate on Twitter is like kind of out of control. And here's what I mean by that. So I'll have to go back and see if I can find the poll. But there's a poll that I saw, and it had a couple hundred views or a couple hundred votes or whatever. And it was, who'd you rather have, Dawson Knox or Noah Fant in Dynasty? And Dawson Knox is winning like 52% to 48%. And that just was like outrageous to me. And so I made a tweet about it because I was like, this is not even close in my eyes. So I'll go back, see if I can find that tweet because I got all their stats out. Hold on. This is okay. Here we go. So tell me which player you'd rather have. All right, you ready? Here's player A. He's 25 years old. He drafted in the 3rd round, 101 receptions, 165 targets, 1,263 yards, 8.6 points per game, in a regular tight end premium league. All right. So the amount of receptions, targets, yards, points per game, that's over his 3-year career. Or would you have player B? All right. Now this is a lot of numbers I'm throwing out there, but here's player B. He's 24 years old. He was drafted in the 1st round. He had 170 receptions, which is 69 more than the other guy. 249 targets, which is math I don't want to do. 84 more targets. 1,905 yards, which is like, I don't know, 650 some more yards. And then 10.73 points per game. So over 2 more points per game. Exact same amount of years. That's like cumulative. And people are going with player A, which is Dawson Knox. And I just don't understand, other than the fact, I'm like, does QB situation matter that much? And apparently it does, because they're completely 2 different. You have the number 1 fantasy quarterback in Josh Allen, in my opinion, and then you have Drew Lock. And people are like, oh, I'd rather have Dawson Knox. I think that it's gone too far, and that's what I mean by 484 votes and it being 50-50. But that, in my opinion, is not a 50-50 question. So that's why I think that no offense, tight end by.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. I wouldn't say Dawson Knox is better than him by any means. People just say, they see Josh Allen, they're just like, oh my gosh, I'm buying everything. I'm buying Gabe Davis. I'm buying Dawson Knox. I'm buying everybody on there except for Stephon Diggs because he's old. But yeah, they're buying everybody on the Bills, and I don't know. The Seahawks, I feel like they're gonna be doing a lot of running. Kenneth Walker, it's probably gonna be like close to like the Bears, I guess. I don't really know how to compare, but Cole Kmet, something like that. I mean, Cole Kmet got a lot of targets, that's usually what happens. Tight ends, running offense, they're gonna be blocking a lot. They're always gonna be out there. Rollouts, tight end posts. There's a lot of things you can do with the tight end and running offense. So yeah.
So, hold on, let's see if I can find the Eagles' offense efficiency. I'm gonna go back and look and see the total offense from last year, and then go to the rushing and see if it had any correlation to tight ends, because I was interested. So Eagles, Colts, Ravens, Browns. Honestly, not really. So if you run the ball more, honestly, none of these guys had like super great tight ends. But I do agree. I think with a lesser quarterback, because a lot of these guys have good quarterbacks, with a lesser quarterback, you're more likely, I think, to have those dump offs to tight ends or maybe crossing routes or things of that nature. So yeah, I mean he's gonna have to fight with DK and Lockett. So this year, like again, he's not in the greatest situation, but I think that's why it presents it as a buy because as we saw from this last offseason, situations can change in an instant. I mean, you had literally in the draft, you had guys like AJ Brown and Hollywood Brown, both go to two completely different teams, like just randomly out of nowhere, and players get moved all over the place. So you really just never know. I'd rather buy the talent than buy the opportunity. Um, and Dawson Knox is completely opportunity versus Fant who's got the talent. So
Yeah, this
um,
is Noah Fant. I'd probably say is like you're doing. Let's say you're doing a draft and you have no tight end. Like your late rounds, you're like, oh shoot, like I don't, I have no tight ends. You're just like, you just take the risk on Noah Fant here. Like I'd say he's like the best player in those later rounds. I can't really think of any others. You could say that Alec Oku, whatever dude that who
oh
also got traded to Denver, but I don't know. He hasn't really like shown he's been good. Fant's shown he's good, but people are just choosing the Alec dude because he's paired with Russell and I don't know. Everybody's buying Denver right now. They're buying Sutton. They're buying Judy. They're buying all that.
yeah,
So,
Albert O is who you're talking about. I don't know how to pronounce the last
I
name.
think
He was already
he's
there.
drafted lower though. Might be than
Yeah,
Fant.
I mean he right now. I think he's kind of balanced back out. He was high for a while. He's tight end 16 on a keep trade cut, so he's kind of where he should be probably. But
Yeah,
um,
he hasn't really
yeah,
shown anything, but he's got
which
opportunity.
yeah. Well, you brought up a good point. If you're doing like a productive struggle team where you're drafting and you know like your team's not going to compete first year and you're really just trying to go for 23 firsts and maybe you made some trades in a startup and you got another 23 first or two and you're just
Yeah,
kind of bunting, Noah Fant is like a fantastic tight end to have because he's probably not going to produce super well this year. But in future years, he's going to have he has the opportunity because he is that guy. Um, as some might say, he has that dog in him, so
who says
yeah,
that?
I see it on Twitter all the time. There's a meme of this
uh,
of an X-ray of a chest, and it's got like a little dog in it. There's this guy. He's on Twitter. His name's Akash, and it's like I forget what his at symbol is. It's like YZ something fantasy. I don't know,
is he a
but he
Seahawks
says
fan?
that all the time. Is he a Seahawks fan? I don't think so. I honestly don't know. At any rate, let's move on to your final tight end buy.
My final tight end buy. This is a surprising buy because number 3 last year, number 3 tight end finish, Dalton Schultz of the Cowboys. Yeah, he's gonna be my last buy. Yeah, no Amari Cooper, he's gone. This dude, I kind of hated Amari Cooper because I'm a CeeDee Lamb owner, and he'd just steal every single reception, and I'd be very upset. But Amari Cooper's gone. Who else they lose? They lost somebody else. They lost another wide
Um,
receiver. I can't think of him at the top of my head, but
oh, Cedric Wilson, and then
yeah. And then they lose somebody else too.
well, Michael Gallup tore his
Yeah,
ACL,
Gallup.
so he's out for a while. So yeah, I mean they have Jalen
I thought
Tolbert.
he was injured last year.
Yeah, he got injured last year. That's what I'm saying.
Is
Like,
it? Yeah,
well,
he's coming back this year. Is what you're saying?
but it's gonna be a
Okay.
hot minute. It was like towards
Okay.
the end of the year.
So let's say him and Cedric Wilson offset this year. You're still like what I'm saying is like they're I don't know. Wide receiver role
They're,
is kind of. I mean, Gallup, I'd probably say is better than Wilson, but I'm just
yeah,
saying.
no, for the first big chunk of the season, they're gonna be missing a giant wide receiver too. And well, I think CeeDee Lamb was a wide receiver one last year. He was better. Like I think he legit had like more receptions. He had more points than Mark Cooper. But now you basically take away Mark Cooper and you bring in Jalen Tolbert, and that
Nah,
doesn't really
he's
fill
not
that.
gonna do anything. He's not gonna.
No, I mean he's a decent like late round rookie draft like target, but you really
He'll
the
develop,
wide
but he's not
yeah.
gonna start out,
The wide receiver
crushing
2
it.
you're looking for is actually a tight end. That is Dalton Schultz.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go off. Dak is gonna be healthy. He's gonna be going crazy. Yeah, he's Dalton Schultz. He finished third with Amari Cooper on his team. Now you take out Amari Cooper. What is he gonna finish? Probably third again. Because I wouldn't take him over Kelsey or Andrews, but I'd say
Yeah.
he's probably like, it's hard for me to put him outside the top 5. I don't know. I'm not really big into Kittle. Not really big into Waller. 'Cause Waller kind of stunk it up. I was big on Waller last year, but he was like injured and yeah, I don't know. But Schultz is
Yeah.
still kind of younger, so
Yep. He's
yeah.
25. He's
Oh
going
yeah.
at tight end 8 right now on Fantasy Pros. And he's behind Dallas Goedert, TJ Hawkinson, Darren Waller. Those are like those the 5, 6, 7 guys ahead of him. I would take Schultz over all 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
Personally, even Waller at this point.
I'd take him over Pitts.
In 2020 in redraft or dynasty.
And redraft, not Dynasty.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, Dynasty. Kittle. I mean, not Kittle. Kyle Pitts is what is he, number 1? He's got to be number 1. He's like number 1 for like everything.
Yeah, as he should be. And then
Jamar
some Fantasy Pros.
Justin, but
yeah, we have Kyle Pitts is number 1. Mark Andrews is number 4, which I don't know why that just doesn't seem right to me. You have to have Kittle over Andrews. I don't know. Maybe it'll be proven differently, but
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's that thing going on. There's the deal. And I don't know how much validation this has, but you do have to look at the splits between Mark Andrews with Lamar Jackson, without Lamar Jackson. He was clearly a lot better when Lamar Jackson was not playing. So it does kind of beg to ask the question, what's that going to look like this year with Lamar? I mean, presumably 100% healthy. Let's see. When is he out? Lamar Jackson didn't play 14, 15. So he didn't play the last 5 games of the season. And he didn't play week 11 either. So 11 and then 15 through 17. And if we go back and look at, hold on, looking at leaders right now. Okay, so go ahead and look at Andrews. And in those weeks, Andrews finished week 11. He had 15.3 points. And then as soon as Lamar gets hurt, 28.5, 35.6, 26.5, 14.9, 16.5. Undoubtedly the tight end. I mean, that's ridiculous numbers. He had 3 games where he had over 100 receiving yards. He had 4 of those games, 10 targets or more. So it does, I'm a little worried that he just hates Lamar Jackson or Lamar Jackson hates him or vice versa. I don't know. But I'm kind of on the border there. So,
yeah. Well, here's my take on it, right? So I've seen a lot of people go, "Oh, Mark Andrews." You see the rest. Whenever Lamar's out, that just means whenever Lamar gets back, he's gonna be insane this year. He's gonna go crazy this year. I've seen people say that, and they're saying, "Oh, yeah, he's way better than Kelsey. He's gonna have an record-breaking season." I wouldn't say that, but I also wouldn't say. He might regress a little bit, but I wouldn't say he's going to regress a lot because Hollywood Brown, see ya. You got Rashad and you got Andrews. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't
know how much they really like J.K. Dobbins. He's coming back. I know they liked him, but I still don't know how much they like him. I know they'll run it, but I still see Andrews having a good season, really, really good season.
Top 3. He should be a top 3 tight end. But I would not be surprised if my next and final tight end buy
Oh,
I would be surprised if he is not tight end one this year, and that is Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce right now, he trade cut. He's going off his tight end 3, whatever. They have Pitts and Andrews above him. They have the age differential by 7 years and 11 years. I understand that. He's 32. So he's getting up there. All right. He's older, but he's still Travis Kelce. I mean, this is like an unprecedented amount of time in which he was a tight end 1. And I'm not just going to ignore the fact that the dude's like, he's that dude until he like shows that he's going to go down. I don't think it's going to be like, he's like a tight end 5 or 6 and then tight end like 10 or 12. I feel like he's just going to go like, okay, I'm done. And then that's it. I don't think he's going to slowly fade off. And so until then, I'm just going to keep buying because last year he finished as tight end 2. And then the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a row, he's tight end 1. And they're just like ridiculous numbers. So I'm still buying Travis Kelce, especially if you're a contender. Double, especially if you're a contender, because he's already popping off last year. He's tight end 2. Now you don't have Tyreek Hill, a huge target share. Like,
even
all of a sudden it's gone. Like, and so the one counter I have heard to this is, okay, well, the cornerback one's been on Tyreek Hill, and he opens up the middle for Travis Kelce because they have to focus on him and whatnot, and so like that's gonna hurt Kelce. And so like I'll concede that. Like I'm not like gonna pretend I'm some sort of NFL play specialist and can analyze stuff like that. So I understand what they're saying, but at the same time, like it's still Travis Kelce, so I don't know how much a cornerback one even double team is gonna do to him because he's got that dog in him. So
yeah, Juju's gonna open up things,
oh my gosh.
I
mean, Sky Moore is not no bum, so
well,
Marquez Valdez
talking about that's true. You're talking about Tyreek Hill's. He's taken some of the catches away last year, obviously. Target share.
right.
But I think the biggest thing is Byron Pringle's not going to be there.
That's
I think that's
true.
that's a little bit bigger than Tyreek Hill. I think.
That's
He's.
true. I can't believe I completely omitted that.
I don't
That's
know
on
how you
me.
forget Mr. Pringle.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah, him and his reckless driving after he got arrested as soon as he signed with the Bears. That was nice.
he was probably partying, but
Because why would you not from going from the Chiefs to the Bears? I mean, that's a huge upgrade. So I
obviously.
can see why he'd be driving recklessly. But well, okay, so well,
Yeah, maybe he'd. Maybe
well,
wait. Maybe he didn't want to be a Bear. Maybe
I don't know.
he kind of
No,
wanted.
that can't be it.
Maybe he wanted to end his. Okay, yeah. Let's keep
What?
going. Let's.
Okay.
let's
So we'll go to the final. We're done with buys. Here's the final segment of today, and I promised Camden I would do this. All right, we play this little game, sort of, but only Camden brings this up, and it's who do you think George Pickens is gonna fight first? Not like in general, but like who's the first person do you think he's gonna fight? Normally we do within the division, but we'll just let you kind of select whoever you want. So we'll give you a
Who do
little bit
they
of
play
time here.
first? Who do they play first?
Um, let's
I feel like he
see.
plays like Jalen Ramsey or somebody like. No, is it Eli Apple? I think it's Eli Apple.
I mean, they're in the same division.
I think they play
Okay,
Eli Apple first.
let's look.
No way.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah,
No.
at the Bengals.
Yep.
At the Bengals. First game
Yep.
of the season.
Oh.
You calling Eli Apple?
Actually, I feel like he's not gonna fight him. I feel like it's gonna take a couple weeks of him getting used to NFL. He's gonna try to pretend, he's a good guy. Okay, I'm not that mean, but he's not gonna fight anybody straight
He's
away.
gonna keep his temper.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know if Odell had a temper because I know I mean, he had a temper obviously with Josh Norman, but
So we go at the
I don't know
Bengals,
what year
then
that
the
was.
Patriots at home, at the Browns. So that's a division rival right
Maybe
there.
the Browns. Maybe the Browns. Denzel Ward. Something might
Could
go
be.
down. Something might go down.
We
It's the
said something the
Browns.
other
For
week.
goodness sakes.
Yeah, there could be a little scuffle there. Jets, Bills,
Yeah, he
and
might.
nothing really.
Yeah, he might like him and Denzel Ward might be going into it, and then they'll like keep fighting off it to the sidelines. They might run to Deshaun Watson, get a massage or something.
Well, I have no comment on that one. Well, at any rate, all right, we're calling Eli Apple maybe, and if not, then Denzel Ward in week 3. All right, thanks for playing. We gotta start getting a graphic up, maybe some theme music in the background. Who will George Pickens fight first? And then maybe eventually get some pay-per-view rights to him fighting somebody like Jake Paul or something like that. So I mean, you
Um,
never know. Sponsored
maybe.
by Trades and Grades. Yeah,
Yeah,
you never
sponsored,
know.
obviously, but
All right. Well,
yeah,
that's
that's
all we got. That's all we got for this week. Appreciate you guys for listening. If you're watching here on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. A good one. Please don't leave a bad review because that'd make me sad. So please don't.
yeah.
Appreciate you, Mick, for coming on at the last second, telling us a couple buys that we should be picking up on before the season starts. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Got anything to say to the viewers before we head out?
Um, uh, go by CeeDee Lamb.
Go by CD Lamb. All right, you heard it here first.
Yep.
All right, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.